Morning, good morning to you, and you. All right, let's just get right into it. Censorship, because of the situation that happened with the YouTube shooting, I mean, there has been brought to light some issues about censorship. While it is wrong that, the shooting happened at the YouTube headquarters, and, like I said, thoughts and prayers go out to the people that were affected by it in a negative way. I mean, but there are some issues actually as it pertains on YouTube, on different platforms, as it goes to censorship. Are there things that need to be censored? Are there things online that shouldn't be shown to kids and stuff like that? Should it be, you know, a barrier and whatnot? What's going on, Wagner ITC? Thank you for coming through. Yes, there should be. There should be censorship. There should be, you know, barriers. There should be certain things like that. What's going on, John Hoke? But the problem is there's a hypocrisy that exists, when it comes to censorship. Like I said, because there are certain celebrities that get away with saying particular things and putting out videos and doing certain stuff like i.e. the whole Logan Paul thing. Saying how the suicide forest and tasing the dead rat and stuff like that. There was a public outcry and stuff like that that came from it, which caused something to happen. But even somebody like Logan Paul is still on YouTube. Whether he's monetized or demonetized or whatever the case may be. It's a situation where there's a hypocrisy that exists because you'll see when folks are making a certain money off of it, or there's a way for them to capitalize on that particular person or company, or there's something that comes of it from the corporate sponsors or the powers that be. Things are allowed to let slide, and people on the lower scale, on the lower spectrum, they see that stuff. They notice these things. It's not something that just people say, okay, well, it's okay, it's all right if you censor me, but you don't censor that person or those people or whoever else it may be. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think censorship needs to happen. I think there needs to be an accountability, for what people put out online. There's a responsibility to this thing when people put out content, but I think there needs to be a level playing field, which there may never be, but it's something that's noticeable and it's something that's kind of unfair. And the sad part about it is when it comes to censorship, and the overcorrection and the things that they do, it affects everybody else. It's like when one person does something, like you punish the masses because of what the one person did, when reality is there's no real, clear-cut solution or no real, across-the-board solution. What's going on, Mr. Dutchy Dutch? Thank you for coming through. So it's a situation where it gets annoying. It gets frustrating. To the point where folks feel like they want to lash out. And like I was saying last night, I do encourage folks not to lash out. I do encourage folks to try to come to some kind of concession, or some kind of, consensus of, how you should handle these things. I don't pretend to have all the answers, but censorship is a problem because it stifles people. It stops people from putting out their, truer voice and, coming out with their truest self and whatnot. And then it can become discouraging when you're trying to just speak your piece and you're not trying to hurt anybody and you're not trying to come at anybody in any negative way. And you're being, hey, what's going on, Llama Monster? And you're being told that you can't, express yourself in this way and get paid. When you look over at the other person, when they're probably more raunchy and more negative and vulgar than you are, and they're getting, big bucks. So it can be a discouraging factor. I would say to anybody in that situation that if you're on a platform where the censorship becomes an issue, where, things are unfair, unbalanced, don't go, shoot up any offices or anything like that. Don't go do anything crazy like that. Don't go try to hurt anybody. I would say, leave the platform. I would say, start your own thing. Learn how to market and promote and strategize and try to make money independently on your own. I think that's one of the things to combat the situation. Try to, make deals with sponsors that'll support your content. Just work on your brand awareness, work on, your presentation, work on your messaging and stuff like that. And then just do your own thing. Find the outlets that are, basically, give you the space to say whatever it is that you need to say. When it comes to places that censor you and try to stop you and stifle you, don't be mad at them. It's like me on YouTube. If I'm here on YouTube and YouTube decides that they want to censor me and they want to, make it to the point where I can't make any money, or, make it to the point where, they just, demonetize everything, and there's no possibility for me to even get sponsors, then what I do is I kindly, shake the dust off, my shoulders and my feet, and I keep it moving. All too often people take the censorship thing and they respond to it in a negative way. I'm not saying folks shouldn't be frustrated. You should be frustrated if people are trying to censor you and stop you from saying what you're saying, especially if you're not saying anything crazy, or saying anything vulgar or to hurt anybody. But like I said, we do have a society where we're overly politically correct, we're overly sensitive. I said on Twitter a while back, I said, don't politically correct yourself so much to the point that you can't be yourself, that you can't express yourself in the way that you should, in the way that you want to, in the way that you have to, and I think that's the problem too. Some people are so afraid to speak their piece, and other companies and entities are so afraid to have people just be real and come out with truth, or with their truth, or just express themselves in a way where it's just raw, it's just visceral, it's something that the people need to hear, need to see, and stuff like that. And then when you look at the people that they prop up and they put up as the shining stars and the shining examples, you say to yourself, it's kind of crazy. What's going on, Molly 1K Dolly? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. I don't know. When it comes to censorship, it's not balanced. It's not fair. It's not going to be equal. As opposed to who can say what, when they can say it. What I say for you, the individual out there, the person out there, is learn to move independently. Learn not to, depend so much on one particular social media site or one particular situation where, you're like stifled if they stop you. Like if YouTube decides that, Mel is no good and it's a no-fly zone for me, guess what? I fly high somewhere else. But too many times I see people dependent on, one or two social media sites, and if those things fall down, then the whole empire falls down. And I tell you, like the censorship stuff I was about to curse too. The censorship stuff is really an issue. Hey, man, why am I red? I'm red because of the actual curtain behind me. That's why I'm red. I'm red, maybe I'm red because I'm fly, but I'm red because of the curtain over there off to the side, and I cut off the light so the sunlight and the reflection from the curtain make it red. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. The soulless trench coat. Yeah, it's just an effect that I do. So it's all good. But thank you for asking. I appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, it's just, I don't know, with the censorship issue, I get it from the standpoint of the companies and stuff like that. They try to protect themselves because legally you don't want to get sued every time. This is Guts, and by the way, had to change my name for reasons. Okay. That'd be interesting to know why you had to change your name, but Guts and Glory, interesting. Okay, hopefully it's not a censorship issue, but I wouldn't be surprised. And I try to tell people not to be discouraged by the censorship and the political correctness that is out there and exists today. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay. It may even ramp up. But it causes people to say, it causes me to say, move more independently, learn how to exist regardless of the censorship, regardless of the political correctness, but you have to be willing to, take the punches and the criticism that come with, these particular things and how, it is. Hopefully I'm making any sense in what I'm saying in my presentation and whatnot. This is something that just came to my mind because, like I said, I know censorship is a big issue for many people. I know it's something where, thank you, Molly 1K Dolly. I just think it's not right because there's a lot of people out there with good content that really ain't trying to harm nobody, that really ain't trying to hurt nobody, and they're getting the short end of the stick. You know what I'm saying? It's a situation where, people are really just, making a living or trying to make a living off of particular things. And every time you turn around, they're afraid. The soulless, I'd rather not get into it. I don't want to mess up a situation that has been resolved. Okay, cool, soulless trench coat. I'm not going to press or push for the issue, but like I said, if you want to contact me privately, seeker.dreamer.believer@gmail.com. If you want to talk about that, privately. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you can holler at the homie. We ain't got to get into that on the live right now. I appreciate that and respect your your right to privacy on that matter. But it's all good. And like I said, back to the whole censorship issue. I get it. There are companies that don't want to be held liable for, I guess bad actors or people that are reckless with the behavior. The problem is that they're trying to fix things that weren't broken. Yeah, I agree. To an extent, I agree with you, Llama Monster. There were some things that needed to be addressed, as far as bullying online, as far as, like I said, anybody, trying to, you put any hate speech out there, anybody trying to use this to abuse people and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna say the censorship shouldn't be there at all. I just say it's a situation where, what, the overcorrection of it is unnecessary. It's like the heavy-handedness, the whole, hypocrisy of it. That's because my thing is this also. If you're gonna have an overcorrection, a heavy-handedness, then put it across the board. Don't say we're gonna censor and overly correct these small creators or these people over here who are not in favor, and then when it comes to these few people over here, they're good. They got the green light. It's really interesting. Like I said, how folks I guess decide who should be censored and who shouldn't be censored and whatever the case may be. Don't get me wrong. There are people that troll. There are people that abuse. There are people that hack. There are people that put folks' business out there. It's crazy. It's crazy. So it's just, I don't know. It's just a situation where I try to tell folks not to take it personal. Even if it is that. Like I said, just learn how to exist. In a way where, like I said, if it does fall down, if YouTube does actually go in a different direction, that you can survive, that you can create. Some people will go into Twitch. Some people I guess are reverting back to Facebook. Some people are going to do their thing on Twitter. Some people I guess are going to try to revive Snapchat. I don't know how that's going to work out. There's people on Reddit. There's people constantly searching for different things. Maybe you could create your own social media network, where you can do your thing and just put it down the way you want to do it. Yeah, switch to live leak. That's funny. If YouTube goes down, switch to live leak. I don't think YouTube is going to go down. I think what's going to happen is YouTube is moving towards the Netflix modus operandi. If you want to say that, the model. Because Susan, the CEO, she said this years ago that they want to be more like a Netflix. Those are her exact words. So people have to understand that YouTube wants to be profitable, all the way. They don't want to have a situation where you're constantly paying out smaller creators or, people that you normally wouldn't pay out in any particular situation. And, they're not getting much back, because what's the return on investment for them to pay every small creator, to pay every creator on YouTube? The return on investment is probably less because they're going through the AdSense revenue. So what do they want to do? They want to have a subscription service. You're right about that. Now, I'm not even a dot on their radar, but at the same time, they don't want to have to pay me to be a dot on their radar. So it's a situation where, you have to ask yourself the question, what is YouTube's motivations? Where are they really going? Right now, their biggest thing, I don't care what anybody tells me, I don't care what anybody tries to show me, is YouTube TV. YouTube Red. They're trying to, those are the things that they're trying to push more than any creator on this platform. If a creator makes money and brings advertisements and brings sponsorship dollars or whatever the case may be to the platform and intention, great. But it's just, I don't know. It's just another. It's another. I don't know. It's another thing. I'm saying. I mean, they're going in their direction. You got to figure out what it is that you want to do, particularly as it pertains to YouTube and the landscape of the internet and whatnot. But the companies out there are going to try to protect themselves. So, like I said, legally, you have to understand how to move in this new landscape and what it means for you, and where you can be, who you are. I'd say to anybody out there, have your own website and learn how to promote that, learn how to push that. But there's too many people out there. I'm on YouTube Red, no ads, but ads pay for the view content. Yeah, they do. I'm on YouTube Red as well. I know this, that they're pushing and they're pumping YouTube Red and they're pumping YouTube TV more than they're trying to push any particular creator, on the platform, that's not involved with those particular, subjects. I mean, they have all this other stuff going on. It's interesting. They have the interest as it goes. YouTube single-handedly made TV obsolete. Then they started up a TV channel. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but they're trying to make money. They're trying to become profitable on it. Because let's be real. If you want to be real about YouTube became popular and famous off of people actually being allowed to put pirated content, stolen content on this platform. People, and if anybody on here remembers the early days of YouTube, you could listen to whole albums and watch, you could watch whole TV shows on YouTube and whatnot. So it was a different time. It was a particular way as far as how they did their thing. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that comes to mind and whatnot. I just look at it and see. I mean, things are different, and with this landscape, you just learn how to adapt. Not to take stuff personally. Don't go shooting up nobody's offices or nothing like that. Don't go crazy or whatever. I mean, if you're gonna troll, you're gonna troll. But like I said, it's a situation where don't take this thing to heart. Don't put yourself in a situation where you feel like you got to go at folks and do something negative over whatever censorship happens. That's funny. The red light is an oven. That's funny. But I don't know. Like I said, that's really all I have on this situation and whatnot. I don't know if anybody else has anything to add, anything they want to say before I get out of here. It's really a situation where, like I said, you just learn how to move differently in this new landscape, and just be aware, learn the different laws, and understand that there's a lot of changes coming. Yeah, don't shoot people over a dislike or one of your videos. Yeah, I agree. Running because of the trolls again. Nah, not even. I agree with you, Soulless Trenchcoat. It's a situation where, you don't want to overreact. You don't want to get negative over people, basically disliking your video, because if that was the case, then I would have went after a couple of people if that's the case, But like I said, I ain't got time to be worrying about folks disliking my videos or YouTube demonetizing me or things getting negative and whatnot. Like I said, I encourage anybody and everybody out there, if you feel like YouTube is not moving in the direction or the way that you want it, don't go out there and hurt nobody. Leave the platform. Just say I quit, move away. I tell anybody, if you feel like you want to hurt anybody on this platform because of anything that was said or done to you, then leave. Like I said, because there's nobody on here that I need to be going after because of anything that they said or tried to do to me. It's a waste of my time. It's literally a waste of my time. Even if I had your name, your address, your number, all that other stuff where you work, what's the point? There are many other platforms you can go to. I agree with this Soulless Trenchcoat. Yeah, there's other platforms you can go to. There's other places you can express yourself. There's other ways you can do your thing. Like I said, I mean, the censorship is a big deal. I get it. But it would come. It had to come because of certain things that are happening, and YouTube's need to try to protect itself. It is what it is. Like I said, but don't go after anybody, because of, any negativity. What's going to happen? I'm a bigger jerk than any troll that tries to get me. Yeah, well, yeah, I know, Lava. I know, Lava. I know how you get down, Lava Monster. Like I said, it is what it is. I mean, people are gonna troll. That's just the way it goes. But even the trolls need love. We're gonna leave that alone. What I'm saying? But for the most part, like I said, with this whole landscape, don't go after nobody. Don't make it a situation, where you gotta waste your time, trying to go after people for nonsensical things. What I'm saying? Like I said, the censorship happens, the negativity happens. People are still gonna find a way to get their stuff off, regardless of the censorship or anything. People will just, they're building a better mousetrap, and they find a way to get around it. People find a way to still abuse the system as well too. There's that. But for the most part, it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't know. I don't know, man. Now I got to get ready to go, and I appreciate the conversation. Hopefully, this is not too much of a rant. I appreciate you folks for listening, and hopefully, I made sense in this whole situation. Again, take care. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. Yeah.